Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Yo, I'm still kind of getting things ready. I have not shared this with everybody. Now, let me start the live by saying YouTube. This is educational content. We are here to talk about various true crime cases that are happening all around the world. Again, this is educational content. I have to give that disclaimer because YouTube does the most with some of my videos, and I feel like I get targeted the most. I don't know if other creators go through this, but I definitely have been going through this. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We live now. Jen hates social media. Can you? He's on Discord. You could definitely, reach out to him there. He's on Discord. Let's see. Everybody, welcome through. Welcome through. I've been waiting all day, especially after a rough day. Let's go, Rabbit. Oh, new sub. Shout out to the Yams Bams. That's a cute name. I like that name. Shout out to you. Okay, I'm just kind of like waiting a little bit. I just shared. Welcome. All right, guys. I need you guys to let me do a intro so those notifications can go out, and that allows people to get in here. Don't get mad at me. The intro is like 2 minutes, but it allows me to share the live. Okay, let's go right now. Hold up. Wait a minute. Bruh. Did you hit the like button? Drop some rabbits in the chat. Let's go.
Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, hit chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. If you want the tea, come see me. Rabbit hole is the place to be for real news, not fake news. Celebrity news, breaking news around the clock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock, I rock, I rock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock. Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, chit chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. True crime is my specialty. Exposed in the industry. Unsolved mysteries. Sticking to reality. Fair use commentary. Talking about cults. Trying to get results. Exploring hopes. Exploring, researching, debunking, investigating, being nosy, super nosy, being messy, being shady. Rabbit hole news. That's me, the chick with ADHD. Unmedicated, but quite educated. Hit that like. Hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat. Hit chat. Hit that like. Hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Hit that like. Hit that like. Let's go. Let's go. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show.
Oh my God, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for allowing me to play that intro. It gives me time to share the live and everything. So shout out to everybody in the chat. We are going to be talking about multiple topics. So I'll make sure I put timestamps in the description box if you're watching the replay. Now, let me just say this, guys, because I don't know about you guys, but like I've been keeping up, and I know it's because I'm nosy and I get it. But this Nicki Minaj and Cardi B fighting back and forth, I'm like, it's been 72 hours at least, or at least 48 hours at least since the first time it started, right? And here we are. I think this is day 2 or 3, and it's still going back and forth. It went from children to now, and Nicki is torching the industry. She's going after everybody, and I'm here for it. I like it. I like that she exposes everybody. I like it. Shout out to Nicki. But that's crazy. It's a lot of crazy. I'm just saying, it's crazy that it's happening, and it's definitely hitting different spots and whatnot. But anyways, shout out to everybody keeping up. I can't keep up. I stopped reading those tweets once it hit like 5-6 paragraphs. I said, I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to decode. I don't want to. I don't want to read something and then it's like allegedly, and I'm like, wait. Do you stand on it or do you not stand on it? Are we saying allegedly now, or are we? What are we doing here? Anyways, let me stop. Let me stop. Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my gosh, we already got our first troll. Please take a nap. Okay, thank you. Mel has been a member for 21 months. Thank you, Mel. Shout out to Mel, who has been here forever. Thank you so much. You say you're Team Barney. Lord, listen, I don't know what I'm team. I'm Team Nobody. That's what I am. I'm just saying. Okay, just saying. All right. Look at this. I don't want you guys fighting in my chat. I'm Team Nobody. All right. Just make the music, make the people happy. That's the team that I am. All right. I'm just saying, like, it's getting a little crazy. I'm just saying, it's getting a little crazy. I'm not a troll, it said, but I can take a nap too. Shout out to you. All right, guys. Let's get it together, guys. Let's get it together. You see, thank you. Team Nadia. Thank you. We are Team Nadia. At least for me. I don't know. Just make the music and make the people happy, but I'm here for it. Okay, let's get it together, guys, because we definitely have some topics to talk about. So what I have so far on my list is we definitely going to start with Celeste and this little situation that was dropped about, I think, 11 calls to the property. You know what I mean? 11 calls to the property, police calls, 3 in one day. Let's get into that, okay? Let's get into that. Hold up. Now, let me share this. Let me share this. Where are we at? Here we go. So TMZ is this is I can't stand TMZ, you guys. I cannot stand TMZ. But they're literally like right dead set in this case. And so yeah, I mean, it's kind of like I have no other choice but to use their information because they're like right set on it. You know what I mean? But Celeste Rivas, and for those that have not read it, this was the latest so far. Celeste Rivas, sheriff deputies called to home 11 times in a year, 3 times in one day. So more evidence has surfaced of Celeste Rivas' troubled home life. Riverside County Sheriff's deputies were called to her house 11 times in just 1 year. TMZ has learned deputies repeatedly responded to her house in Lake Elsinore, California, between February 2024 and April 2025. Here's the question that I have about this. If they were going to her house so many times, so she wasn't, and this is why I tell you guys about chronic runaways. Like, they come and go all the time, right? They like, you can call a chronic runaway, but you know, they might come home or they might have contact with somebody. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to stay as a runaway. But then they run away again and then they have to call that police report. So even though there was a missing person poster out there and it said when she was last seen, that might not necessarily be the accurate information because kids that run away kind of come and go. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they do. You said the mom is so sketchy. Oof. Oh my goodness. Slide, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. Guys, if you've been blessed, put some hearts in the chat, please and thank you. Truancy is considered a minor. Is it Ashley? Ashley, it's considered a minor crime. I could tell you about truancy. It's truancy and truancy court sucks. Okay? Because even though you have the court that will oversee these cases and you have all these professionals involved, it really sucks when you don't have the buy-in of the child. Okay. So you can, like I said, you can have situations where like everybody's on board to help the child, a good home life. But if the child does not have any buy-in, truancy court is not going to help. Programs don't always help. Does that make sense? It's one of those things where it's like there has to be buy-in. But if there's too much going on in the home, guys, if there's too much going on in the home, then how can you expect the kid to focus on school? Or how do you expect the kid to stay in one place? Definitely difficult. You know what I mean? He said, I mean, how do you stop truancy other than with legal measures, which I don't think it always works. It's very hard. Um, in my experience, what I have seen, having worked with such situations, with truancy court, I have seen extremes where, like, let me show you. Here's an example. Extremes would be like the school is coming to pick up the child from home, right? That would be extremes. They're waiting there. They're waiting for the child to eat breakfast, and they're gonna help with the child going to school. They're gonna make sure that the child eats breakfast, and they have a ride and make sure that they make it to the building. But there's only so much that they can do. They can't really, other than that, they can't go above and beyond any of that. They have to deal with what they have to deal with at school. That's what they do. You said you notice how TMZ is throwing the family under the bus suddenly. I do find that interesting. How I'm glad that you said this, Bonnie, because none of this explains why Celeste's body was in David's car. Does it? None of it does. She had a troubled home. I'll give you that. She was a runaway, clearly, right? But none of this, like, none of this leads us, nor does it explain her death. Does that make sense? So yeah, we could sit here and focus and say all kinds of things about the family, but at the end of the day, she did, that we know of, the family had nothing to do with her being in the car of this adult. Unless it does, and maybe I'm missing something, but you guys let me know in the chat. I don't feel like I am. TMZ will switch up like anything. You guys let me know, okay? Y'all are welcome to your opinion, okay? All right, hold up. Now, let's get into this. So they say that there's more evidence that she had a troubled home life. Yes. Riverside County Sheriff deputies were called to her house 11 times in just 1 year, TMZ has learned. Deputies repeatedly responded to her house in Lake Elsinore. So they were responded to her during the time that she was quote unquote on the run. According to police reports obtained by TMZ, and get this, cops say deputies visited Celeste's homes 3 times in a single day, March 19th. 3 times, and I've seen this happen before. Stuff is getting out of hand. And yeah, I've seen them go to a house multiple times when there's a lot of conflict. During that time, typically what police will have is they'll have like a crisis person. I've seen this before where there might be like an interventionist or like a mental health professional that if the child is struggling or the parent is struggling and they're known to the sheriff's office, they'll bring in somebody from the outside to do maybe some quick counseling right then and there, or quick family planning right then and there. That does happen. I've seen it done multiple times. What this makes me wonder is, why was she still at home if she was so beyond control of the parent, or if there was issues at home, one or the other. If she was so beyond control of the parent, why was she still at home? Why would mom still have custody of her? Or like, what happened exactly? That's the question that I have. Why wasn't there any CPS intervention, or was there at this point? That's what I want to know. Incompetence, potentially. I do wonder if there was any CPS referrals, because typically when it's like this at this point, you'd have CPS reports. Yeah, and that could very well be the case. But let me tell you, it's Cali. You got a lot of Spanish speakers there. You know what I mean? CPS has a lot of Spanish speakers. So to me, it's like she might not have spoken English, but Spanish is like secondary there. So I mean, to me, it's like there's no reason why there's no translator or anything like that. If anything, there would be there. I feel like they're starting to focus on parents as a way to shift blame and deflect. I'm glad that you guys are noticing that too. Okay. Yeah, exactly. There's resources. There's a lot of resources out there. But let's get into this article. So 3 times these cops are coming in there. Now, March 19, 2024, the TMZ is letting us know to focus on this date. That's the same date on the surveillance video TMZ obtained from a liquor store on the same block as the family home. Celeste's sister went to the store after Celeste ran away and checked to see if she was on the video. Okay. So if this is Celeste, and I know people have said it's Celeste, TMZ is saying it's Celeste, guys, maybe that was the same outfit she was wearing on that day, and that's why the sister remembers saying that's Celeste because she's got these white pants and this black hoodie. Maybe, I don't know. But if this is her, yeah, it would coincide with that date, right? There is a shot of Celeste running down the street and going out of frame. A car pulls up. It's unclear if she got in the car. Two of the three visits that day were at Celeste's home. The third was to the liquor store. Okay, the records state almost all of the calls were listed as minor crime investigation, with the exception of one other call for suspicious circumstances. I think the reason why they labeled it as a minor crime investigation is for urgency purposes, right? Like, if say that like somebody was coming in and hurting people or doing the most or whatever, then they would probably like they prioritize how they're going to respond to some of these calls. I think that's what the issue is here, why it was labeled like that. Not so much because she's a minor, but because of the level of urgency. Does that make sense? I think it just and typically these runaways or kids that are beyond control of the parent or they don't take priority, guys. They really don't. There's other urgent matters that police will tend to. So you can call a cop and say my kid's acting out and they're running away. They literally just it's not on top of the totem pole, if that makes sense. As far as an emergency, if anything, they tell you to call the non-urgent number because they don't see this as an emergency, especially if they're a chronic runaway. But yeah, they need to look into David's background. If anything, says Jay Boopsy. Mm. Let's see. I'm surprised they haven't got David's DNA. We don't know, Robert. We don't know what they got or what they don't. What I do notice is that they're changing the narrative. That's what it seems like to me. The narrative has been changed, right? The narrative has been changed. You mentioned possible oppositional defiant disorder. What about mental health? Could be both. Could be one, could be both. I definitely think that if okay, not knowing what's going on, hell, maybe the mama's struggling too, right? Not knowing so much what's going on, but it could be both. It could be the parent, it could be just a child, or it could be the whole family, right? Could be all kinds of things as to why the kid doesn't want to stay at home or why a kid is running away. All kinds of things. Oh my gosh. Night Charm says, we used to tell people to call the hospitals and call the jails because that was the protocol. There you go. Shout out to Night Charm. But yeah, just so people are aware. Okay, let's keep going. So police took reports of for the 4 of the incidents, and cops plan to do follow-ups on 3 of the calls. Now, this is something that I would want to know what follow-ups did they do, if any. The dispositions on the rest of the calls were not available. Why? Worth noting, police responded to Celeste's home at 9:29 p.m. on April 5th, 2024. About a half hour after her family reported her missing to police at 9 p.m., according to her missing person flyer. Left the house at 9 p.m. That's interesting. As we reported, Celeste had a troubled home life and threatened to run away several times. An ex-boyfriend from middle school told TMZ she had joked about it before she actually left. Celeste's dismembered and decomposed body was found in the front trunk of the Tesla. We know this. So this is just repeated information. Another theory. And not that I'm shifting blame, okay, or anything like that, but it is a theory that I think we all have to consider. Okay. When I saw her in that video arguing with the I must say the Sureños because they said that they were Southsiders. When she was arguing with those Sureños, I'm gonna tell you, I immediately thought in my mind, if David, now that doesn't take away from the fact that he possibly was talking to a little girl, right? But if David didn't do any, like, didn't actually murder her or do anything to her, who did she piss off in this gang? Or who did she piss off in general? Because it might have not been that. That's where my mind went to. Okay? Did anybody else think that too? I'm just wondering, or is it just me who was thinking that? Because I do wonder about that. Did she upset somebody so much so that they did something to her? Let me know. You said they weren't pissed. They knew they were dealing with the little girl, says Sonoma Mia. Maybe. Maybe. In the Hollywood Hills? I don't know, man. How did That's the thing. How did the gang, if it was a gang, or maybe it wasn't a gang, maybe it was another person. Anything is possible. Yep. Maybe. Again, anything is possible. All right. Let me tell you, when I heard dismemberment, even though that has not been proven, but TMC is still reporting it. Okay, let's be very clear. Because I don't want people to gaslight us and then say, well, social media did X, Y, and Z, yada, yada, yada. No, 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 no. Time out, amigos. Time out, my friends. Okay. When I heard that, I said, oh, this is giving me cartel. Cartel or what is it? I gotta be careful when I say stuff because just gotta be careful. Um, some gang activity, MS-13, Sureños, Norteño, and I'm hoping that that's not the case, right? Like, let me be very clear. But that has not been confirmed. That's been put out there. But when I heard that, that's my mind went to that. I said, oh, this is giving me that. No. Miss Amber says, "Thank yes, Rabbit. She made someone mad, or she was talking about business that she wasn't supposed to be talking to, so they kept her quiet, or maybe she saw something." Okay. Now, that doesn't take away from the fact that let's just say that that's the case. Let's just say that she got somebody mad and somebody did something to her and put her in David's car. Okay. How the hell did she have access to David's car? I don't know. Did David go on tour and then leave the car there? That's a possibility. I don't know. Okay. It doesn't take away from the fact that he was still allegedly talking and dealing with a little girl. That if he knew that she was on the run, he should have done the right thing and made sure she went home. Made sure that she was not, in his vicinity or streaming with her or allowing her to stay at the house. I'm sorry. Okay? If something was going on at home, clearly CPS should have been involved. They should have removed her. That's what they should have done. But we don't know what was going on in the home. We have yet to get a statement from mom. Mom is probably not wanting to talk to anybody. I mean, guys, the service, I think it's in the next week or so. So this is a lot. But I want us to pay attention about how they're changing the narrative. Now, somebody else who noted this too was Lauren Conlon. David hired criminal defense attorney to the stars, while experts believe Celeste Rivas Hernandez may not be a homicide. I don't know how you could say it's not a homicide, because to me, it's like, I'm gonna need the police to explain to me, how does a little girl wind up in the front of a Tesla for there not to be a homicide? How? How? That's what I want to know. Because there's no way. There's no way, guys. We're about to get there, Ashley, I promise. The Good Nanya says, I do think that ME confirmed the autopsy was inconclusive due to only having 2 of her body parts, pending the toxicology and tissue testing. Well, here's the deal, Nanya. We were talking about this. Is it a situation where somebody put the verbiage, I think, Chico, if you could put it in the chat, what is it called when the body decomposes by itself and it just disintegrates and you basically start coming apart? Leggings were noted. Now, leggings, her legs were with the leggings. I had to put it this way, but leggings were noted, right? Outfits were noted. Jewelry was noted. Tattoo was noted. So various things. Thank you. Disarticulation. Disarticulation. Yes, I think that's how you say that. Disarticulation, right? When the body, so the body begins to kind of disintegrate, liquefy, kind of like that, right? First of all, we know that she had died a couple weeks before she was found in the car, right? Elements of the sun. We don't know how much this somebody was driving with her. Now, what did SF Investigate say about if you hide a body, it's only a misdemeanor in Cali? Like I was like, huh? What do you mean it's only a how does concealing of a corpse, a body, only a misdemeanor in California? How does that happen? I don't know. So we don't know if this is it or if she was actually dismembered. What we do know, and I do have the email from the coroner's office in Los Angeles, and we're still waiting for documents, right? I do have an email that does not say dismemberment. It does not say that, but the media is saying that. So we won't know. We really won't know. What we do know is so far we know that she was not pregnant at the time of her death. Which I know I've said this. I'm like, I'm glad she was not pregnant because that would just be like, oh my God, you know, even though a lot of us, and I'll put myself in there, I speculated that. Wrong speculation, but I did speculate that. Okay. Let's get it together. Yeah, bones won't disappear. It's almost impossible for them to burn. That's right. New theory unlocked. She may have been driving the Tesla and met up with someone who did this to her and then parked the car near the house. Gucci NY, that's what I'm thinking too. Could be. For them to change the narrative. Because the way I see it is that why is it taking so long for us to for him to be arrested or for him to be charged at this point? Maybe it's the toxicology. Maybe we're waiting for that. But if his alibi is that I was on tour, how do you argue against that? How do you show? How do you what do you do? Hmm? It's a good question. What were the guys who made the law doing that made them decide hiding a dead body is no big deal, right, Nikki? Like who said that should be a misdemeanor? You said you believe that the low key the parents did they piss somebody off? Ooh, see, and that's where I went to my cartel theory. I said maybe the mom, maybe people piss somebody off, and then and I know you're like, well, those. I'm not saying that those guys, right? But I'm talking about the fact, like the Sureños. I'm not saying that they nothing like that, but I'm talking about gang activity, right? I'm just saying, like, it got me to thinking that maybe they saw a little girl with the car, and then they did this, and David never called it. Maybe he didn't know. Now hold up, guys. Let me give. I gotta get the slime. Give me a minute. You said the coroner is incompetent, only licensed to 2022. Oh Lord. Okay, let's keep going with this article, y'all. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Bad decision led to teen tragedy, says Los Angeles PI Steve Fisher on Rivas Hernandez case. So, in a development that has intensified further pressure on the once rising musician David Anthony Burke, known as David, or D4DV, sources close to the investigations confirmed Tuesday that the 20-year-old artist has retained a high profile attorney, criminal defense attorney, Blair Burke, which we kind of already heard this name like last week. We've been knowing that this was somebody that was potentially hired. For those that don't know, this attorney, I was looking to see who he had represented. He's represented a lot of people in the industry, just so people are aware. To represent him amid the ongoing probe into the death of the 15-year-old Celeste Rivas. Burke, renowned for navigating celebrities through DUIs, Minor legal entanglements, has limited experience in murder cases, though she has handled them before. Most recently, the Monica Sentimentelli accused of murdering her hairdresser husband. Never heard of her. This hiring surfaced on the heels of a statement from the Los Angeles Police Department suggesting that criminal liability may not extend beyond the concealment of a body. As the case unfolds, private investigator Steve Fisher, who has closely tracked the investigation, warned that the narrative may be shifting towards damage control rather than full-blown homicide. Fisher, speaking on a recent broadcast with the Los Angeles, painted a picture of a case that could boil down to a misdemeanor charge under the California law for a concealing of a body punishable by up to a year in jail and fines. From the news release, it sounds like a concealment of a body is possibly what we're looking at, Fisher said. He said this on Banfield too, on News Nation. He speculated that authorities might frame the incident as an overdose or OD, where somebody made a bad decision and she ended up in the Tesla. How?
Steve Fisher, private investigator in Los Angeles. You have been all over the Celeste Rivas Hernandez case. I have just confirmed that David Burke has hired Blair Burke, a very well-known criminal defense attorney in Los Angeles. However, she doesn't typically handle murder cases. She does a lot of scrapes, if you will, DUIs, getting celebrities out of just, some minor trouble that they're in. She has tried murder cases before, but again, not her specialty. Now, this coupled with the fact that LAPD put out a statement saying that there might not be any criminal culpability beyond concealment of a body. What are you thinking that we're in for right now? What are they setting us up for?
This could be a really a bigger PR situation than anything, because from that news release, it sounds like concealment of a body is probably what we're looking at. I think that they're foreshadowing that this is going to be an overdose and somebody made a bad decision and she ended up in that Tesla, and so it's not going to be a homicide trial. It's going to be a listen, it's a misdemeanor offense, concealment of a body in California. So
it's crazy.
It'd be a matter of his attorney representing him on that, but also managing damage control to maybe try and salvage his career, which I think
salvage his career. Now, I want to say something. Let me tell you why I said gang related. MS-13 Salvadorian. When she was outside, she was talking to these, and this was a year ago, right? When that footage was out. They were telling her, little girl, I'm not Mexican, I'm Salvadorian. And I was like, oh, okay. So did she have any dealings with? And everybody, I'm just saying, just what crossed my mind. Because when she said that, I was like, okay. Now, I don't know if she's Mexican or she's Salvadorian. I'm not really sure. I assume she was Mexican. That was my thought. Because I'm noticing some comments. I'm just kind of pointing that out there. Why my mind went there. I said, well, if it's a cartel situation or a gang situation, does she have any affiliations? She's a little girl, but these kids do get themselves into gang activity, right? It's a real thing. So is that a possibility? I don't know, guys. I don't know. What I do know is I'm just noticing how the narrative is changing, and I wanted to put this out here. Look at this. Her parents say her death certificate says are in Salva. I've seen the screenshot, but I didn't notice that part. Foreign scammer. Just a thought, something that came in my mind. I don't know. I could be wrong. Don't believe me. Do your research. But when she said this, she said out loud, I'm not Mexican, I'm Salvadorian. I said, oh. So did she? Kids join gangs all the time. You never know. You never know. Okay, hold up. Let's keep going with this.
It's going to be a tough thing to do at this time. But, I think that's possibly why you see the attorney on this case is not a high-powered, homicide defense attorney. This is an attorney that gets celebrities out of misdemeanor type issues.
And I'm not even going to talk about the possible trouble he could be in if they do find proof that they were in some kind of sexual relationship. That's, neither here nor there right at this moment. But you also received some information, Steve, from a source claiming that.
Wait, guys. So can they prove? That's the other thing. This is why I said, watch, I don't know if anybody's going to be charged with this crime. I do wonder. I said it yesterday too. I was like, I don't know if it's going to be like, is there going to be justice here? She did not end up in this trunk. Somebody put her there, right? She died somehow. Somebody put her in this trunk. Something happened. Something happened, right? But I do wonder if anybody's going to be charged. Because say that David is in charge because he's innocent, right? He didn't commit that crime. But he was talking to a minor. But say that they have superficial messages and pictures and stuff like that. You still need to prove that there was some kind of a sexual relationship with this minor. Can they prove that? What do they have in their computers and their anything? What do they have to say that there was a sexual relationship? That's the bigger thing. I do wonder about this.
Celeste, over the summer, she was at parties with her siblings and David. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, from what I've been told, that she had siblings that would attend, some of these parties that her and David would be at. And that's, troubling, because there was an active missing persons report open for her. She was in the NCIC system, which is the FBI database, and nobody cleared her. And then, recently we've seen this surveillance video from some apartment complex or whatever it is, where she's in a shouting match, and that is months and months after she was reported missing. So why?
If this is a good point, right? That charging, harboring a runaway could be a charge. Completely agree. Or how are they going to be able to prove that? She had some of her items at the house. Y'all notice how quickly, first of all, how quickly they cleared that house, right? They didn't seal it. Think about the Idaho 4 when that whole gruesome murder happened there. I mean, that was a murder, right? And there was a lot of stabbings and stuff like that. That house sat sealed up with law enforcement. All the tape was there for a couple months before they went in there and they tore the place down, right? That didn't happen with this property. So if she was staying there for a minute or whatever, or maybe she was going from there to another spot, somebody was, harboring this child. But who was it? Was it just David? Were there other people? We don't know. We don't. So they're going to have to prove that he was harboring a runaway, or that he knew. Like, this is what I'm like. I wonder if there are going to be any charges. Now I'm like starting to see this, like, well, what's going to happen here? You said they left her in her own car in front of his house. It seems like he's being set up, or he's dumb as AF. Doesn't add up. It doesn't at all. At all. If anything, there's a lot of people that are responsible here, right? There's a lot of people that should be charged, I think. For one, the parents, right? There should be something in there, because I don't know. But then again, like, I'm still trying to understand what happened. No, man. It's a really sad situation. Hold up. Okay, let's keep playing this.
Wasn't law enforcement notified that they had eyeballs on her? They knew where she was at. That's
okay. It's a little clip. Hold up. I missed this last part. Give me 1 second.
These parties that her and David would be at. And that's, troubling, because there was an active missing persons report open for her. She was in the NCIC system, which is the FBI database, and nobody cleared her. And then, recently we've seen this surveillance.
Nobody cleared her from the system, but she was coming and going. Clearly, she was back and forth. She was running. Somebody was harboring her. Who was she staying at? Where are all the other friends? We only know of the kid that she was dating in the grade school, right? But he's not really provide it doesn't seem like he was well in tune into her current life, only what was happening before. Does that make sense? I feel like, and no shade, but like I think his name is Damien, right? He was only providing a picture of what was going on, but not currently, like what was going on in the past. But I didn't feel like it was anything current. Does that make sense? Maybe I don't know, maybe it's just me.
Video from some apartment complex or whatever it is where she's in a shouting match, and that is months and months after
Mhm.
she was reported missing. So why wasn't law enforcement notified that they had eyeballs on her? They knew where she was at. That's
That's it. Okay. That's the end of the clip. Okay. So, it further goes, with no apparent homicide charges on the horizon, David's role, in Fisher's view, extends beyond a police station or a courtroom. It is also about managing a PR nightmare to salvage his career. It's going to be tough to do this at this time, Fisher added, noting that the viral backlash that David has experienced due to his lyrics, possible connection to minors, and creepy merchandise on his website. However, the stakes could escalate if the evidence surfaced of a sexual relationship between the teen and the musician. David has remained silent since the grim discovery of Rivas Hernandez's body on September 8th, the day after her 15th birthday, in the front trunk of his Tesla, abandoned in the Hollywood Hills. Fisher also revealed information about a close source indicating that Rivas was spotted at parties alongside with David and her own siblings as recently as this summer. This revelation raised more questions about her status during periods when she was listed as missing, as well as the recent September 2024 footage that TMZ obtained of Rivas at the home with the family. An active missing person report had placed her in the National Crime Information Center. That's troubling because nobody cleared her. This is important. Shout out to SF Investigates because he deals a lot with this. He emphasized, why wasn't law enforcement notified that they had eyeballs on her? They knew where she was at. And I think this is important. If family knew where she was at, where she was staying at, why didn't they say anything? He's staying at David's house. They know this. Sounds like there's an email that could prove this. Why wasn't more done with this? That's not the way that this is supposed to happen. Her family was in touch with her and had an idea where she was. And that's the real problem. There you go. The investigation remains ongoing with the Los Angeles County medical examiners yet to determine the cause and manner of death. Thoughts? I think Celeste gave the family so much trouble that at a certain point they just let her do what she wanted. Yeah, I think so too. And this is a normal thing when a child is BCOP, beyond control of the parent. They literally they don't want to deal with it. It gets to be too much. So if I know that my kid is safe, I know or at least it's not my problem right now. I gotta pay bills. I gotta do, and I know I'm just letting y'all know the mindset of that. I don't want to deal. I don't want to confront that. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to, deal with any of that. Right? Some parents won't do that. Some parents are right on there. But I'm also wondering if there's this issue and fear of, documentation. Did mom fear this? And then she kept, calling police. Was this going to be an issue? And again, playing devil's advocate of what different things could have happened here. I know some of you guys said, if this is my child, I don't care. I got to do it, and you would do what you have to do to help your child. But it does make you wonder, like, was CPS involved at this point? What did CPS do? Was there an intervention at this point? Clearly there was a struggle. Police come into your property 3 times in one day, 11 times a year. That's concerning. That's definitely concerning. Was she safe? Was there something going on at home? It's important. Thank you. Didi, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. Really, really, really do appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Guys, if you've been gifted by Didi or Sly, make sure you guys are putting confettis. Also, shout out to Linzer84. She met her milestone like 2 days ago, and I completely forgot to shout her out. There's so many people here in the chat. So shout out to her if she's watching the replay. They filed her missing because they were going to call CPS. They filed her missing because they were going to call CPS. I don't know. I don't know what they were going to do because we're not the family. And we can't really speak for them, right? Like, what happened? I don't know. We don't know what happened. Somebody was keeping her though. Something happened there. I just don't think that I don't know, guys. This is like the thing is unfortunately this is the true story of a lot of families in America that are struggling with runaways. Some people don't even really think about it. If you don't ever have to deal with that, that's great. God bless you. But when it does happen to you, it is the most frustrating thing that you can go through as a parent. And I think it's important to put that out there. What can you do? And the system is not set up to really help parents because it's just there's just so many factors that play into this, if that makes sense. So it's very, very frustrating. But yes, let me know what you guys think in the comments. We are going to move on to the next. Oh, Sheila, thank you so much for becoming a member. Shout out to you. And Mel, again, thank you for being a member for 21 months. Shout out to you guys. Okay, guys. We're about to move on. Okay, because I told you guys we got 2 other topics to talk about. Hope you guys stay because I know some of you guys are only here for the David stuff, but we have to talk about the Diddy stuff. Okay, Diddy has been it's been a lot of motions. Shout out to BJ if you have not watched her channel because she's been reading all of them. Nika Knight is another great content creator that's been reading everything too. I have not had the time. Quite honestly, I'm kind of diddied out in my mind because covering that trial in the summer was like too much. You know what I mean? Put a 1 in the chat if you were here for the ups and downs of that whole trial. Let me know. And by the way, we will continue, just so people are aware, it is justice for Celeste Rivas. We will continue to discuss this. When there's new updates, we're going to talk about it. We definitely going to talk about it, okay? Justice for Celeste Rivas. Let's not forget, okay? All right. Olsen has been a member for a year. Thank you, Olsen. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And Chantel's been a member for 3 months. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you, guys. A year. Thank you, I feel like it's been longer than that. NJ Hawaii, thank you so much for the $4.99. Good to be here. Good to have you here. Oh man, you guys are amazing. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Y'all are amazing. I couldn't do this without you guys. Thank you. Y'all can be somewhere else, but you're here. I don't know why. I mean, I do. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Love it. Love it. Okay. Lord have mercy. Let's go back to TMZ. So Diddy wants to talk to the judge. Diddy wants to talk to the judge. Agnifilo, you know, Mia, for those, let's go back to the trial. Let's go back to summer, May 2025, this summer. I cannot believe that the summer's over. It is October 1st. I'm not ready for the fall. I like the hot ass weather, and I told you guys that. I am that girl that likes 110 degrees outside. I love the hot heat. This I don't know. I'm kind of like the like that hot weather. So I'm definitely gonna miss the summer. But when now here we are, October 1st. We into October, right? So guys, Mia, for those that we read those transcripts, Mia was the woman who worked with Diddy at Bad Boy for many, many years. Okay. Now, she was the one that said she was anonymous. Okay. Even though the internet found out who she was the one that had the, she was sexually assaulted by Diddy. And she recounted that. She talked about the Burning Man situation. Girl, here, you're going to have to give this to the sitter because I can't open that. Thank you. I can't open it. So Mia was the one that was testifying. She had this video that everybody knows where I'm not going to say her identity, but there was a YouTube video that was found where she kind of had I don't have my lip gloss here. She had the lip gloss and she went like Diddy, yada, yada, yada. She was Team Diddy. And so then she is the one that's being selected to kind of give a victim impact statement in court. And the people were really struggling with this because some people don't believe Mia, the things that she has said, right? So please note that some people do not believe what Mia has to say. So I don't know. Agnifalo's like, no, girl, you're not really a victim. Let's get to Agnifalo's letter, because Agnifalo was like, I disagree and I disapprove of your wanting to be the victim here. Okay. This is straight from the desk of Agnifalo. And by the way, shout out to Vicky, who is the OG of the channel. 47 months. 47 months. I only do this to see how long you've held me hostage. Forever. Forever, Vicky. Forever. Vicky's the one that, shout out to Vicky, y'all. She's my beautiful, wonderful mom. And Jane, thank you so much for being a member for 5 months. Thank you, y'all. Thank you. Okay. Get it together, chat. Get it together. So from the desk of the Agnifalo. Okay. By the way, for the longest time, I couldn't even say his name. I used to just mess his name up. But apparently he writes, "Dear Judge, we write in opposition to the government's September 30th, 2025 letter motion to requesting that a person with the false name, Mia, speak at Mr. Combs' sentencing for charges of which she is not statutory victim. She is not a statutory victim. Over defense objection, Mia was permitted to come into court, assume a fake identity complete with a makeup voice and demeanor, and lie about a defendant in a criminal case, all behind the shroud anonymity. And not, excuse me, I can't even read. Anonymity. She lied that she had sexual contact with Sean Combs without her consent. She lied that she was a victim. Virtually everything that came out of her mouth was a lie." Oh, I'm getting back on my transcript reading. This is Agnifalo, okay? One of the greatest enlightenments that has held sway over parts of Europe is trial by jury. And a jury of 12 people had little difficulty concluding that this person with the false identity, voice, and demeanor was lying. And it acquitted Sean Combs of anything and everything related to her testimony. That's right, because she was part of the RICO, right? But she apparently is not done. Now that the jury is gone and her lies will not be tested by cross-examination or evaluated by a fact finder, she wants to return to court still beneath the shroud of anonymity to lie again. Agnifalo really wrote this? These letters are like, wow, Agnifalo. Agnifalo. Lord have mercy. You said Diddy is disgusting. What y'all think? Ag effing nif. Y'all know ag fucking nifalo. That was the word. That was our what really made me mad about Agnifalo, I'm just being honest, was when he had a problem with Cassie walking to the podium when she was pregnant to testify. Something about her being pregnant that was going to sway the jury or something like that, which whatever. I mean, it just drove me crazy that that's what he did. And I heard that he's a fantastic attorney. That's no shade on him, but it did drive me crazy when he did that. Just saying. Patricia, thank you so much for the 199. Thank you. That's all I got to say. Thank you guys. Diddy was one of those that we just had to like find, because Diddy's trial was a horrific thing, like just in terms of just the content and stuff like that. But we had to find those like moments where we could just chill a little bit, because it was just so heavy for like the 2 months that we covered this trial. We were live every day. You know what I mean? So this is different. Kraken, thank you so much for being a member for 21 months. Me too, hostage by choice. Well, thank you. I'm glad. Vicky too, 32 months. We ain't never leaving. Thank you. Y'all are hostage by choice. Thank you. Don't ever leave. And if you do, I'm gonna cry. I'm just saying. Stay with us at least till the 100,000. God permit. Okay. You said, well, that letter is a piece of drama, and I'm here for it, baby. He legally right. Yes. He's legally right, morally stupid, but legally right. Agnifalo is Luigi Mangioni's lawyer. Okay? Just so people are aware. Agnifilo was also Keith Rainier's lawyer. He lost that case. But Agnifilo is Luigi Mangioni's lawyer. It's both. Nikki, it's both. It's the wife and the husband. They're both taking on the case. That's going to be an interesting case to cover. Okay. All of that went down on my birthday, by the way, the shooting and all that. Just crazy, but we were here to cover it. Okay. He further goes, the drama. Simple. She's not a victim of anything. She had adult consensual sexual contact with Sean Combs on a handful of occasions, and as her many writings show, held him in the highest regard for years afterwards. Don't forget that Mia was the one who did the scrapbook. Y'all remember the scrapbook? She did. She did little, she went to Hobby Lobby and got the little stickers. She did the scrapbook. She did the scrapbook of all the articles, and she put them together. Y'all remember? I remember. Yep. Okay. Because of her, he writes, she's not a victim. She's an adult. She had consensual sex with Sean Combs on a handful of times. And as her many writings show, held him in the highest regard for years afterwards. How do we know this? The same way the jury knew, because her testimony was blatantly incredible in every way, as was the testimony of so many of the government witnesses. Moreover, she's so eager to return to court when she plainly does not have to, and she's not even entitled to, put her profit or fear of testifying at the trial into clear relief. This was a show for her. She got to lie. She got to testify with the false identity. She got to try out her fake voice for a jury of savvy New Yorkers. But she also saw the consequence of lying to a jury. They don't believe you. Shit. So now that the jurors have returned to their lives and she can testify without scrutiny, she wants to come back still under a fake name. Still under the false narrative to further sully these proceedings. Thank you for your consideration, Mark Agnifilo. I have never seen Agnifilo. Like, this is maybe the most pointed letter, dramatic letter. What do y'all think? What do you guys think? Soul Power Tarot and Coaching. Thank you so much for being a member for 4 months, my love. Mia's asking to speak. She was not chosen, and the prosecution is considering it. I feel like she wants to speak for her own closure and healing. Maybe it could be. But Agnifilo's like, girl, you're not even a victim. Agnifilo's like, girl, no, you lied. Girl, he said that she had consensual stuff going on with Diddy. Don't forget, and now it's coming back to me. I'm sorry, like in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to think about Diddy trial anymore because it was crazy. In my mind, so she got a call from somebody from Diddy's team. Y'all remember that? Got a call from somebody from Diddy's team, and they were trying to like get her to talk to Diddy. And this is before like the indictment and all this stuff went down. So she was feeling like some type of way about this situation too. She just testified to all this, that she was trying to get, that they were trying to intimidate her. What do you guys think? Let me know. Thank you. Hold up, y'all. I got to shout out some people. And again, thank you to all my veteran members. Thank you. Amber, thank you for becoming a member. And Soul Power, thank you again. And Teresa, thank you for becoming a member. Shout out to y'all. Thank you. They offered to pay her lawyers. That's what they've said. That's what they've said. Listen, I don't know, man, but this is heating up. And regardless, if anything, did I pull... What happened to my pacer? Because I wanted to show you guys what pacer is saying. No, log me out. Stay logged in. Damn it. I'll show you what pacer's saying, y'all. We're going straight to pacer. Straight to the pacer. My goodness. We're going straight to the pacer. Hold up, y'all. Run report. Let's see. I hate Pacer. You guys know that. Pacer is like, when is Pacer going to get with the times? Look at all the, so we have new filings for October 1st. I'll show you guys. Okay. See if I can't see it on my end. So October 1st, order as to Sean Combs' sentencing in this case will commence on Friday, October 3rd. Friday, October 3rd, that's it. That's the conclusion of this whole thing. Okay. At 10 a.m. in courtroom 26A. So that is what's being said. Now, let me see. Diddy wants to speak, by the way. He wants to talk to the judge for his sentencing. So that's that. But I do want to see. Hold up, y'all. If you guys hack into my, I don't have any passwords that is showing. But if you do hack into my Pacer, pay my Pacer bill. Okay, thank you. Okay. Now who wrote this? This is Jay Clayton. And this is regarding Mia and the objection. Mia took the stand for this trial to testify for days about the defendant's treatment of her and those in the orbit. She was clear that testifying was something that she wanted to do. Despite defense counsel assertions, nothing in the jury verdict expresses a view as to Mia's credibility. The jury was not asked to make any findings as to Mia's credibility regarding a particular stance. So Jay Clayton, because Comey's gone, Jay Clayton is like writing these now. Okay, just so people are aware. Now hold up, y'all. We got something going on here. Remove. Diddy wants to talk to the judge. That's what Diddy wants to do. Diddy wants to talk to the judge. He said, Diddy, I've got something to say before I go, Your Honor. Before Diddy finds out how long he's going to prison, he's got things to get off his chest, and he's planning to say it in open court. Lord have mercy. Fridays, by the way, Teeny Garagos was pregnant. Shout out to her. She was pregnant throughout this whole trial. I do wonder if I heard she's almost there. Shout out to her. Friday's hearing in federal court where Diddy will be sentenced for his conviction on 2 counts of the Mann Act is a little more interesting now because he wants to address the judge. In court documents, his attorney, Tini Garrigo, says the sentencing proceedings hold significant importance for Mr. Combs. He wishes to appear before the court, address Your Honor, and allocute in the most dignified and respectful fashion possible. So he wants to be like well dressed. He doesn't want to be in a jumpsuit. He wants to wear, and I don't know if they've approved this. I thought they said they did. I could be wrong. Keep in mind, Diddy did not take the stand during the trial. He never once testified or anything. So this will be the first opportunity in court to say anything about the charges he faces and address Cassie and the other victims. That impact letter from Cassie left it was Cassie's letter and then Cassie's parents. And people don't put any weight. Like, I remember the transcript for Cassie's mom. The whole situation with the money and all that, to me, that was like, oh my God, can you imagine? You're having to go get a loan to help your daughter, and you're trying to help your daughter. You know what I mean? Because you don't want her to be like, being exposed or any kind of like anything out there about her. As a mom, I think a lot of us would have done that. Yeah, we probably got into the police, right? But like, this is Diddy, and at that time, Diddy was like up there. And if the government is asking for 11 years, think about it. How long was Cassie in this relationship with Diddy? 10, almost 11 years? Is basically the parents are, the people are asking for him to be sentenced the same amount that Cassie was in that relationship. It's very symbolic. I didn't even note that until I heard Nick at Night say it. Shout out to Nick at Night. Nick at Night. I was like, oh man, I didn't even think of that. 11 years, 10 years would be the equivalent of what Cassie had to endure in that relationship with Diddy. Let me know what you guys think in the chat about this. Like, this is going to be an interesting hearing. I will say that much. Guys. Okay, guys, this is something that I've been wanting to review. We're going to move on to Laken Snelling. I've been wanting to review this, and I keep pushing it back. And it's 14 minutes. We're going to review it. Okay, and I might do a shorter video on this because I've talked about this case. Some of you guys do not like this case. Some of you got, well, I don't like any case, right? Because it's a horrific case. 21-year-old girl. She is a cheerleader for the University of Kentucky. 21-year-old girl. She is a cheerleader for the University of Kentucky, and she's in the stunt team. You know, the little cheerleaders that do the acrobats and the upside down flips and the, you know, they do crazy stuff. Shout out to them because they got a lot of agility and stuff like that, right? So they do a lot of the stunts. She gives birth in a off-campus resident home. Okay, off campus. She gives birth. Leaves the area, roommate's fine, a dead baby inside of a plastic bag. Okay. When the story came out, and I'm just gonna say, look, I always keep the same energy until I can't. Okay. We were very careful because we know that stillbirth is a thing. I've had many miscarriages myself. I've had ectopic pregnancies. I know it's a very scary thing, right? We all know. Okay. When this information came out, we were wondering, like, well, maybe she got scared. Maybe it was stillborn. We don't know if the baby was alive. Right. All this other stuff. Well, within her own statement, she said that the baby whimpered. Okay. She went to sleep with the baby next to it, and the baby turned blue, which means that at some point the baby had oxygen. Okay. Laken was concealing her pregnancy. She was doing Google searches about pregnancy. Yes, she was. The crazy part out of this situation is that she took pictures of her labor. She gave labor in the bathroom at like 4 a.m, and the roommates were hearing her give birth at 4 a.m. They didn't know she was giving birth. You know, that's what they've said. They said, we didn't know she was giving birth. We didn't know. Okay. She took pictures. Now, to me, we've talked about the Alexi Treviso case. Like Alexi Treviso is almost the same. Girl from New Mexico, 19 years old, didn't know she was pregnant, gives birth at a hospital bathroom, conceals the baby, puts a liner over the baby, and the baby suffocates to death at a hospital bathroom. So Banfield had an interview with Mark Garagos. I want to review this because she provides a lot more information, and we got to talk about it, okay? We got to talk about it. Now, somebody in my comments said, you sound judgmental. Yeah, I probably am judging at this point. I would say so. Because when you have resources, and maybe this is just my opinion, okay? You guys are entitled to yours. When you have resources, you're in a university, there's a medical facility there are safe haven laws. She was aware she was pregnant. She was Google searching. She was concealing her pregnancy. Yeah, I have a problem with the fact that we are allowing people to get away with this kind of stuff. Not only that, then we are infantilizing her. Like we're oh God, she was young. Yes, I was 21. I was about 21, 22 when I gave birth to my oldest. Okay. I've been there, done that. I know what it feels like. And my circumstances was completely different than hers. So we do need to have a conversation about this. Okay.
That the roommates found the baby first, and they called 911. But by then, the 21-year-old mom, Laken Snelling, was no longer home. We also know for the first time where she was, and I'm going to let you in on that one in a moment. Might make you blink. But when authorities arrived at the scene, we know that the baby was dead. What we don't know yet is whether that little boy was alive after being born, and that matters. In fact, there is something that Laken Snelling herself would say later on that suggests maybe that baby was alive when he was born. As we've reported before, the now former university student athlete is charged with a couple of things.
Yep.
Abuse of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, and concealing the birth of an infant. But notice on that list what's not there? No murder, no homicide of any type. Late last week, she made the trip back to Lexington from her parents' home in Tennessee, where she's under house.
So she's not, they're still, the infant's death is still inconclusive. That's what they've deemed the infant. They're still doing like, what is it, tissue testing and all kinds of stuff, right? But it's still considered inconclusive, just so people are aware, which is what is happening here, okay?
Arrest, and she made the trip for this, which was a very, very short court hearing. What you're looking at right there is not just this big old edit that we made, into a minute. The court hearing was less than a minute. She basically showed up to waive her right to a preliminary hearing. And why does that matter? Under Kentucky law, that basically sends this case to a grand jury. So it's a bunch of, her peers who are going to have to decide whether to indict Laken Snelling or not. And
I think that they are going to indict her. I think that I'm just saying, I have a feeling that that's what's going to happen with this case.
Money's on the indictment.
Yeah.
Especially in light of the police reports that came out the same day. Okay, this is where you're going to have to sit down, because these affidavits are filled with information. A lot of it's kind of uncomfortable. The affidavits that were filed to get search warrants show that while Laken's roommates claim to have been in the dark about her condition all along, Laken had been Googling, quote, different things pertaining to pregnancy, and had used, quote, different hashtags for different weeks pregnant on social media. Which makes me wonder, how in the dark were these roommates?
How in the dark were these roommates? Now, hold up. I must be getting trolled. Well, Celeste was acting like an adult, so they treated her like one. And oop. Well, Celeste was acting like an adult, so they treated her like one. And oop. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Don't make me go off. Go to sleep. Thank you. Thank you.
Don't they follow their roommate on social media? Police also found pictures of Laken, quote, doing things that ordinary pregnant women would not be doing. And there's no explanation in the affidavit, but we kind of wondered if it was this. These were the pictures that we aired a while back, showing Laken Snelling in the cheerleading stunt team.
She is stunt team. She looks very pregnant here, by the way. I'm just saying. Cheerleader, stunt team. Yeah, look at that belly. Okay? Some people don't show. Some women don't show, especially on their first pregnancy. Some people do not show. You know what I mean? Yeah, I do not feel for these girls that hide their pregnancy and then dispose of the babies. Thank you. Thank you. Especially as a cheerleader, right? Now, again, let me get the comment that says, you're being so judgmental. No, I'm showing you what the issue is. Laken is not 15 years old and pregnant. Okay? Laken is not 15 years old and pregnant. She's 21. Some of us, I'll speak for myself. I was that age when my firstborn. Okay? Not once did it occur to me to put my baby in a trash bag. Okay? Not once. Because the way I saw it is that if you do the deed, if you having relations, you got to figure this out, right? Grown women decisions, right? That's just how I see it. I think so too, Obsidian. I do think so. You know what I mean? Yes.
She's a member that's slipping and tumbling at a meet that would have put her, by the date of it, at about 5 months pregnant. And get this, police also found pictures that Laken took of herself while in labor. Those were not posted to social media. In fact, those were not easy for the police to find.
Look at that.
You know why I'm about to tell you, right?
Say that again, Ashley. Hold up. Ashley, say that again.
Took of herself while in labor.
She took pictures of herself while in labor, my friends. What the hell?
By the date of this meet, at about 5 months pregnant. And get this, police also found pictures that Laken took of herself while in labor. Those were not posted to social media. In fact, those were not easy for the police to find.
Those were not easy for the police to find, and she took those pictures of herself while in labor. Who takes pictures of themselves while they're giving birth? Now, if you're in a hospital, it's a little bit different, but you're literally giving birth in the bathroom. You got time to do a selfie? I'm confused. Bet
you know why I'm about to tell you, right? They were not easy for the police to find because they were deleted. Police say Laken told them that she gave birth at 4 o'clock in the morning on August 27th. She said the baby fell to the floor of her bedroom, and the roommates actually told police they heard that, but didn't know what it was. Laken told police she didn't think the baby was alive, but she didn't stick to that claim, and I'm going to come back to that in just a second. She said a half hour later, she, quote, passed out on top of the child and woke up to find the boy, quote, turning blue and purple, end quote. She said she wrapped the baby up, quote, like a burrito and lay next to him on the floor.
If the baby is turning blue and purple, listen, it doesn't take a genius. What does that mean? Baby has air in the lungs. That's what that means. Now, I'm not an expert. I'm not a medical person. I'm just a person on the internet, okay? But my understanding, if there's a baby turning blue or purple, that typically means that there was signs of there was air, okay, in the lungs, and you have to figure something out because there's no air anymore, or, the baby's struggling with breathing. I'm just saying.
Quote, because it gave her a little comfort in the moment, end quote. And here's what else the affidavit tells us. Laken slept until her alarm went off at 7:30 in the morning. And police say she then wrapped the baby in a towel, put the towel in the trash bag, and put the trash bag in her closet, and then took a shower. After that, police say she cleaned up a little bit more, stashing the placenta in a Ziploc bag, which police say she stashed in the closet with the baby. And then they say she drove to the University of Kentucky campus, but did not go to class. Instead, she ordered food from McDonald's, and after eating, drove to the student clinic. But then, curious, did not enter the building. According to police, she instead went back home, by which time her secret was out. So police took her in, but then they took her to the University of Kentucky Hospital where, and I want to read this actually verbatim because it's important. Ms. Snelling told medical staff that the baby made a whimper and that she, quote, guessed the baby was alive. This is where I'm going to stop, and I'm going to bring in Mark Garagos, defense attorney, podcaster, and longtime friend of the show, and somebody who knows a lot about this because he's had cases.
Right, Amber, this is a great question. Why was she taking pictures unless she's trying to prove that she had a baby to someone? What? When I hear about these cases, I don't ever hear people taking pictures of themselves while in labor. I never hear this. Yo, please hit the like button, please. And thank you, guys. Thank you. Make sure Helen already put her like number in here. Thank you so much for the 351 like. Thank you. Medical examiners can actually do a test on the lungs to see if he took a breath. It's called a lung float test. Ooh, maybe they did that, maybe it's her own words. She said the baby whimpered. There's sound, right? There's sound right there. Thank you. Thank you. I can't with these girls. It's like, I can't with these girlies. I know it's a hard thing to talk about, but it's like, these cases are preventable. Nobody should have died here, right? A baby shouldn't have died. A lot of this is preventable. A lot of this is education. What are we doing? And to me, it's like, it's crazy because I heard people say, well, she knew she was pregnant. She concealed it, right? And she had those searches to conceal this pregnancy. There's other things that you can do if you don't want to be pregnant. And this is not going into that pro-life and pro-choice or anything like that. This is about a crime. Because at some point, this becomes a crime when you decide to have this child, and this child is like, it was breathing and then it's not. If she didn't want to do this anymore, she could have said, you know what, let me go put this baby in the safe haven. There's like boxes all over, no questions asked. That's it. Somebody said, well, maybe it was her family. Her family gave her a hard time. Her family, she was out of state, guys. She's in Kentucky and her family's in Tennessee. What a perfect way to have a baby and not tell your family that you just had a baby and just give up your baby, and that's what it was. Did she have a hard time? Did she say, you know what, I don't know? 2 different fathers were tested, were called in for DNA on this baby. They were trying to determine who fathered this baby, right? 2 different men. It's fine. But we got to understand what's happening here, you guys. None of that matters at the end of the day. She had a choice. She had a choice to make. Roommates could have, and my thought was like, well, damn, why didn't the roommates go in there? Why didn't the roommates call 911? I mean, if she was giving birth, they could have immediately gone in there to help out and stuff like that, You know what I mean? Oh my God. Let me make sure I don't know why you're in. Didn't I just kick you out? Can you go away? When a channel person kicks you out, don't come back. Go away. Thank you. Yes, these people are aware. So she was in Kentucky and she wasn't with her family. And now I'm assuming, yeah, I blocked. I thought I told her to go eat a Snickers after she said some stupid shit about, well, Celeste was doing adult things. And what are you doing here? Go away. You know, people are trolling when they say the complete opposite of you is crazy. Anyways, I'm on the replay right now. Whoever's hating on the intro can go. I'd be dropping rabbits in the chat. It's crazy. It's crazy, y'all. And this is, again, we're not having the abortion conversation. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. We're talking about a crime. Because at some point, as soon as she had this baby, she was already gone from that. That's not even what this is about. It's very simple. She had a lot of choices, right? She had a lot of choices before and even after this baby was born. She could have called the roommate to call 911. She wasn't on morphine. She wasn't medicated. Was she in shock? Probably. I give you that. But let me tell you, she could have said, I'm not putting this baby in a towel. She took a shower after it happened. She didn't go to class. She sat in the car. This is even worse than Alexi Treviso. I'll give you that. I'll say that. She decided to take selfies. Why would you take selfies? I don't think it's selfies, but when you take pictures of yourself while you're giving birth, I guess that's considered a selfie. She had a phone with her to call 911. The roommates, I'm imagining, and I'm not saying that, not to blame the roommates, but can you imagine? You're like, I'm curious, what the hell happened in here? You go in her closet and then you find the baby, a dead baby in the closet, wrapped up. They did, Amber. They heard all kinds of noises. There's all kinds of stuff. Now, let me tell you, I think that there should be a lot of education that happens, but here it's, what was the excuse? As soon as she gave birth, she could have just given the baby to a safe haven. She could have given it at the hospital.
Like it. Okay, Garagos, I think that last line is super important to me, that the affidavit says Laken Snelling told medical staff the baby made a whimper. That's kind of solid proof that the baby was not stillborn, that the baby was born alive.
It's definitely something that the pathologist is going, in the coroner, is going to want to factor into his discussion. When we talked about this case last time, we talked about, or you had a guest on that was also a pathologist. And one of the things they talked about, or I at least characterize it as, the kind of medieval tests that they use in order to determine this. It really is, for all of the advances we've made in science, when it comes to figuring out if it was stillborn or not, it's still very, very primitive. But the admission from the mother that there was a whimper or a sound which suggests taking a breath, that is key to a coroner making the determination if there was a live birth, because the breath, the lung capacity, that is what they have concentrated on since time immemorial.
There you go.
Yeah, you can't make a whimper if...
A whimper means that the baby's alive. A gasp, turning purple, oxygen in the lungs, all this. That's not a stillborn. And I'm telling you, I really thought in my mind, well, maybe it was a stillborn, because I know how, that's very traumatic when that does happen. I know how traumatic that can be, but that's not a stillborn, guys. Not at all.
You don't have oxygen in your lungs, and you don't come out of the birth canal with any oxygen in your system. That's the first breath, as everybody knows. Then she also said after 30 minutes, she said the baby was turning blue and purple. I think it might have been 30 minutes after she kind of woke up, having, in her description, fallen asleep on the baby. And to say the baby's turning blue and purple is another very definitive forensic clue that the baby was actually functioning and alive for all those minutes.
You know, this is why I'm such a friend of the show. You're so sharp to have picked up on that, because if I'm the defense lawyer and I'm taking a look at that, I'm saying to myself, this is precisely why you never want your client to cooperate, because just from a purely legal standpoint, absent her statements that there was a whimper, that the baby was, the fetus or the baby was turning blue, how you refer to it, things of that nature, they don't have a corpus. They don't have a crime. It's only after the fact trying to reconstruct a crime. And boy, I will tell you, a whimper and turning blue, as you just stated, are two of the biggest things that their prosecution is going to hang their proverbial hat on.
There you go. A whimper and turning blue. Wendy, thank you so much for being a member for 9 months. Shout out to you. Thank you. Thank you. Could the video be meant for the father? Interesting. Or like, because we don't know who the father was. There was 2 that they tested. That could have been it. I didn't even think of that. I think someone didn't want to lose their popularity title, so they did the worst. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Like losing our place in university, the stunt team, having to take time off, all this other stuff. Like maybe she thought of all these things. To me, it's like she's at a university though. What does universities have? Universities have resources, guys. They have places where people can go to get resources.
Hey, I'm looking at these pictures, and I know I'm going to get assailed for bringing this topic up, but I think that everything matters. Appearances matter. This is Laken Snelling appearing for her second time in a courtroom in front of a judge. She's tucked in behind her lawyer for a bit of it, but you can see she's wearing a black dress, and she did not glam up. In her first court appearance, she wore a red dress with a lot of makeup. Second court appearance, see, there's the first one, Garagos, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing when I saw the red cocktail dress and lots of makeup. It matters, doesn't it? As a defense attorney, it matters how your client appears in a high-profile trial.
Really? I'm like, okay, I guess it does matter. Let me skip over that. I really don't care what she was wearing.
How is projected outside of the courtroom matters immensely to the ultimate arbiter of this case, which is the jury pool. Why do you think in the Diddy case they're fighting so hard to have him not have to wear jail garb at his sentencing when there isn't even a jury? Because they know that that's going to go out. That's what the public is going to say.
Oh my God, but what's his name wore jeans and a jacket to the Diddy trial? What is his name? Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi. Put it one in the chat if you remember that. He's talking about the Diddy trial. Kid Cudi was a witness. Y'all remember they blew up Kid Cudi's car. We were trying to figure out whether it was Janice, whether it was the other lady, and or who done it. Kid Cudi wore jeans and jeans and a leather jacket for court. So I'm like, I don't know about this, but okay. Y'all remember that? So she did really? Did she wear a lot of makeup? I mean, y'all remember what Kid Cudi was wearing? We were talking about that. The outfit is screaming, I'm not guilty by reasons of insanity. Maybe that's going to be the argument for the defense, that she went insane after she gave birth. Some people do go insane. I mean, did I go insane after birth? No, but some people do. There's like your hormones are all crazy and it exacerbates certain things in women. Okay, Diddy, you wear your jail scrubs. Please stop your incarcerated. Accept it. No, he's gonna talk to the judge tomorrow or Friday, whatever that day is. Okay.
Why do you think I have many times said I regret in the Peterson case that I did not allow cameras in the courtroom? Because what they did do is they took some B-roll of maybe a minute and a half, and that became Scott looking with a lack of affect, and that became kind of the soundtrack or video track, if you will, of that trial for the rest of time in memorial. Right here, look what happens. You've got her looking as if she's going, you call it a cocktail attire, I call it a prom dress, into her appearance. That is not the look that you want to have. That is not the look that is going to send the message that you want to send. And I'm not second guessing the lawyers or anybody else because I've been hoisted on this myself, but it matters. The things that you don't think matter. I can't tell you the little details that you have to be concerned with.
That's interesting. Maybe she just didn't know, or maybe her lawyer didn't tell her. I'm not really sure. Been a member for 6 months. This woman probably thought the father of the baby would have would make a commitment, but didn't see. So, oh. You want to charge it? Okay, can you give me a minute? Here, Thank you. I'll charge it for you. Okay, y'all, let me go charge this. Okay, let's play this.
I'm not judging her either. I don't think this kid knew a damn thing about court and about how to dress. I'm sure she just grabbed what she thought was the most adult thing, maybe in her wardrobe. But these things just do land so unbelievably hard on people, and people are very, very judgmental. I do want to ask you about the deleted pictures. The police always find the deleted file, and the pictures of her giving birth are deleted, as are some of the internet searches. You know, in the legalese, they usually say that's consciousness of guilt, I think. But do you see it as a problem that she deleted a lot of these things?
Well, you know, what people don't quite understand, both for where you search and what's been deleted. When you cross-examine, at least in my experience, when I cross-examine the computer forensics people,
So not only did she take pictures of herself, she deleted those pictures. She was like, I'm gonna take pictures of me giving birth, but I'm like, she deleted the pictures. That's what she did. Thoughts? Let me know what you guys think about that.
quickly find out is that something that is deleted is not necessarily deleted. And then what the law enforcement does is they will recreate, they will go to the unallocated space, they'll go to the cloud, they'll go to various other places and recreate what was deleted. That, to your point, can be damning if it's something that shows consciousness of guilt.
Now, since she did conceal this pregnancy and carried it through, do you guys think that maybe she, okay, honey, do you guys think that maybe the reason why she decided to do this, not go to the hospital, is because maybe, like NJ Hawaii was saying, is it possible that she had a fallout with the father of the child, right? And then Amber makes a good point, and I think Obsidian said it too, is that if you're insane, there is no capability to conceal, right? A person that's insane, like, you have to kind of wonder about the intent. Sound of mind. If you're insane, or at least you lost moment of consciousness or whatever it may be, you're not thinking about concealing a pregnancy, right? You're not thinking about any of that because you're up here, right? You're all in here, and the loss has been, you know, and what moments, insanity for a moment wouldn't have applied here, if that makes sense, because of the concealment.
The other thing on internet searches, I'm always a little leery of that because anytime you go onto an internet or land on a website, you get bombarded with pop-ups. You get bombarded, and if you were to go in slow motion, which I often do during cross-examination, as to the search browser, searching for that website, many times one of the things that they consider to be a search is not a search. It's not the endpoint. It's just one of the signposts on the way. So you have to be very careful. You have to have yeah. And so one of the things that you're labeling or saying she was searching for may not be.
Okay, quickly, I only have about 20 seconds left, but I've got to ask you about the trip to McDonald's after she, you know, allegedly wrapped this baby up, put it in the closet, put him in the closet, left the house. I remember giving birth twice to two little boys, and I was absolutely famished the next day. And here's a girl who's probably going to be assailed for going to McDonald's when maybe she couldn't face whoever was in her house to get food in the house and just wanted to get away from seeing anybody. But how do you spin that if you're a defense attorney in court? And that's a really ugly fact.
Just basically embracing what you just said. I mean, generally, if you've got either a female judge or females on your jury, or anybody who's been around a female who has just given birth, they're going to tell you exactly what you just said, that sometime with you, right after giving birth, right after you've recovered from what is an ordeal, you become incredibly, incredibly famished. And clearly there is no playbook after these kinds of things. I mean, if you believe that she didn't really know, or she may have suspected but didn't know until it happened, which is the kind of the situation that I've defended on a couple of occasions, there is no playbook for how you react. But there is also, it is a biological fact, so to speak, that you are going to be, as you, to borrow your word, famished.
Yeah, people tend to, this is a good point. Jane said, you can develop mental health issues after giving birth. Yes, I know of someone, so do I. They had like psychosis episodes, psychosis, they did. But I guess the question becomes then, shortly after giving birth, did she have psychosis so much so that she was able to conceal? Like, to me, concealment of a baby or anything like that would be like intent or premeditation, right? I'm thinking of the many things she could have done after giving birth, like not taking pictures of her giving birth, like maybe like having the roommate call 911. Even if the baby didn't survive, then at the very least, it would have shown that she attempted to, you know, figure something out. You know what I mean? Like, I do wonder about this. Just a thought. Just a thought. You said she knew because of the clinic she chose not to go inside. That's right. She didn't go inside the clinic. She knew. You know? Yes, you can. Yes, you can actually. Mental health issues, I've known of this too. Like when you're pregnant, your hormones your hormones will do a number on your body, right? Um, Depression can heighten, psychosis can heighten, you know, and then if you're in medication, you have to be careful because some of that could like make things happen, exacerbate things. There's so many moving factors to this, for sure. For sure, for sure.
And if you're famished, you're hungry, you're going to go where you're going to go.
You're going to go where you're going to go. I can tell you this. I was almost 40 and there was no playbook for me and I was a total wreck. I can't imagine what this would be like for a 20-year-old something in college without that kind of support. Garagos, always love having you. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
Whew. Y'all let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Okay. I really want to thank everybody tonight. First of all, for supporting. You guys have been amazing. Thank you so much. For my OG members, my new members, my OG members that have been here forever, forever, forever. And for those that gifted today, thank you. Like everybody that gifted, I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys, for supporting my channel. I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you. I think I saw Sylvia. Shout out to Sylvia in the chat. I will see you guys tomorrow. I got to go to sleep. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. We definitely covered a lot tonight. We covered Celeste. We covered David, the little bit of David. We covered Diddy. And then we covered Laken. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'll see you guys mañana. Have a good night. Bye, guys. Bye, guys.